Hello and welcome back to the channel. We're continuing our series on Payload CMS, integrating it into a website and then onto a mobile application using Ionic Framework. So last time we wrapped up authentication. In our authentication example, we're using the HTTP only cookies. We showed how to log in, and by the fact that we have the HTTP only cookies, when we refresh the browser, the cookie is identified and we are authenticated again. So it's basically refreshing the session. So what we want to do next is we want to move on to actually creating a user. In the past, we created the user in the Payload CMS admin tool. We want to allow, well, I'm going to say customers to be specific. We want to allow customers to be able to log in and create their own accounts. So let's get to the code. Also, please make sure you like, subscribe, share with your friends, check out the whole series, leave comments below on other things that you would like to see. Okay, so here we are back inside the code. One of the first things that we need to do to get this working properly is we want to go to the customers collection, and here inside the customers collection, you can see there's this access block. Let's take a look back here at the documentation, and if we go to collections, and collection configuration under access control docs, you can check out this video to learn a little bit more about it. But what we want to do, not here in the admin section, let's go to access control types for collections. Here in access control for collections, we want to activate the create one. So basically, you can create accounts. So we are going to go down inside of our user collection, and here inside of access, we're going to type create, and we will adjust this later as we dig more into access control, but for now, we just want to show how to create a customer in the application. There's multiple other options here under access control. You can see there's read, write, versions, all the other things. So, but like I said, we'll get back to them later. But for now, we just want to show creating the customer. So we're going to set on access, create will always return true. So that's what we've done inside of our CMS. And then now let's go to our sign-in page. Not our sign-in page, you want to go to our sign-up page. And so the idea here is that we need to be able to provide all the fields to effectively add a new customer. So to save some time, we're going to copy the code from our sign-in page and then add the additional fields, because if we go back to our customer collection, we'll see our customer collection, we need a new field called full name, and we need the birth date, along with the traditional fields that you get from authentication, which are email and password. So let's get back to our sign up page. Now, like I said, we're going to start with our sign in page. So I'm just going to copy all of this, go to our sign up page, select all, paste. So now we have all the basic code for our sign up page. We have our email and our password. As you saw, we need some additional fields. Copy. We need a full name. And we need a birthday. And we'll just set them like this for now, just to get things started. Then the next thing we want to do is, I spelled birthday wrong. The next thing we want to do is go up here inside of our code and add these additional fields. So we have our email. Let's put our full name above that. And we will do that by just changing this model to say full name, full name, and type text. So now we have our full name, and then our birthday is going to be a little bit more interesting because we need to get a date field in there, and then we need to be able to save it. And so here what we're going to do, let's just save that in there for now. But here's where we're going to put our, let's take this out, birthday. And so we need to put our birthday in here now. You can just use the HTML5 date time and kind of clean it up and pass it over. But since we are using Ionic Framework, because in the end, our goal is to get this on the mobile application, we're going to use the Ionic Framework component that supports this. And what we're going to use is we're going to use this Ionic has this component called Ion DateTimeButton. And so you get this little button, and when you click on the button, it will display a calendar for you to pick a time. So this is what we're going to leverage in our example. So the awesome thing I like about Ionic is that it has the sample code for Angular, plain old JavaScript, React, and Vue, and it also provides a source code right below that you can basically just drop in. So let's just copy this Ionic DateTimeButton and go back here and paste the code in. We need to make sure that we import all of these new components that we're using. So let's go down here, Ion DateTime. I think it's a DateTimeButton. I think I saw Ion Modal. And did I see anything else? And then the Ion DateTime component. Okay, let's see what we get in our code actually now. And let's get to our sign up page. And you can see we have this component. We can click it. We get our calendar. We can pick whatever we want, and then we close it. We're going to remove this because we don't need the time. We just need the date. So let's figure out how we're going to remove that. Let's get back to our code. All right, so the Ionic component for date time. So this is the modal, and this is the button that's associated with the modal. And so down here on date time, we can control what is displayed. So I think presentation has values, so you can show what you want to be displayed. We only want the date. So we're going to set the presentation to date. And then the next thing that we want is we want to make sure we have our buttons on the bottom. Because currently right now you have to click the background to close. And so what we can say here is we can say, I believe there's another type, default, show default buttons, and we're going to set that to true. And let's put the little dot on here so that it's binding it. Let's save, format. Now let's go back to the app and see what we got. So let's refresh this. And we only have our date. And when we display, we get our cancel and done buttons. We can select and we can save our date. So now we have our full name, our date, our email, and our password. So what's next? Let's go back and look at the code. So we've captured all the values. And then now we have this handle login, but we want to call this handle sign up. Let's make this change and move it up here into inside of our template. So we're going to handle the sign up. We have our full name, our datetime button, and our last name. So let's scroll down and see what's going to go on here. So here we want our customers. We're going to do a post. We have our body, we have our email, we have our password, we have our full name, because that's how I spelt it inside the collection. Where's my collection? Customers, full name, and birthday. So let's make sure we get that right. And we'll go back to our sign up page. And we have full name. And I think that can be full name dot value. And then down here is birthday. And that should be birthday dot value. I just realized that I'm missing some code, because what's happening is I'm not actually assigning the date when I get it. And so there's an event on here on Ion on change. And what we want to do is on this onChange event, we are going to get the value that's passed in and we're going to reassign it to our birthday, because the format that we're going to get passed in up here, we need to set it to the ref so that everything works the way we expected it to. So what happens is the event you get passed gets passed into the event detail value. We're going to take the event detail value and assign it to our birthday, so that hopefully when we get here inside of submitting it for our sign up, we have our birthday and we can assign our values appropriately. Okay, let's make another change. Well, I know we don't need this debug here. And there's no sign in error, it's a sign up error. And then the other thing we need to do is get our button straight. So the action here is to sign up and cancel. This should take us back to the sign up page. So we don't want to push, we're just going to say go back. So, and let's just take advantage of some Ionic stuff and say color OL. Okay, let's see what we got. Let's go back, let's refresh our page. This is our sign in page. Create new account takes us to our sign up page. So now we have the actual sign up and we have the cancel. Okay, so if I cancel, I go back to my sign in page. If I want to create a new account, I click create new account. I go into my page, I have my full name. Let's fix the sign in at the top. Let's change that. Sign up. Okay. And I have my event listener. I have my full name, birthday, email, password. My buttons are straight for sign up, my router, and then the cancel button. So let's check and see if we can get a user created. So let's set a birthday to September 1st. Let's kind of move this out of here. Let's say September 1st, 1950. That's the year, and then we can pick a date. Done. So that's that. And the full name is Aaron Saunders, old guy. Since I was born in 1950. And let's change this. Aaron, old. And let's set our password. And then sign up. All right. So let's take a look and see what we got in the log. So it created our new customer. Old guy created. We got our message created successfully. Let's look in our customers. We got our Aaron old guy. Now we just need to fix the routing because you saw it jumping around. And let's see why it jumped around. So if we go back to our code, what you'll notice is that on login, we say to go home. On create account, we say to go home. But what's happening is that when you go back home, the first thing that the home does is it checks for a user and it can't find the user, so it redirects you back to sign in. And the reason why that is happening is because creating a customer does not log in the customer. And so what we need to do in the sign up page is after we create the customer, we now need to also log in the customer and then redirect to home. Now, what's happening also, if you haven't noticed, is that we're we're duplicating a bunch of code. And so if you see, I'm going to have to go over to my home page, and I'm going to have to take all this. Where's this code? This, not the handle logout, but the sign in page. And I got to rip all the sign in code, handle login code, and duplicate it in my sign up page. So for now, let's create a service. So we'll go into our source, AuthService, and we're not going to get all fancy with this. So we're just going to kind of export these. So export and the login, and we'll take in email, password. We'll get our type set there. And since we are passing in the actual string at this point, we don't need to do this value stuff anymore. And we can set it like that. And then all we'll do here is we're not even going to deal with errors here. We're going to let the errors bubble up. So we're going to move our try catch. No router go home here. So if everything's fine, we're just going to return the user. Okay, so that's our handle login. And then let's go to our sign up page. And let's copy handle sign up. Put in the AuthService. And we're going to do the exact same thing with the parameters. Except we know we have a full name and we have a birthday. And we will just add them down here. And then fix all these. Except the full name, because I have this weird spelling. So I have to do it like that. And same as before, we'll just throw the errors back up to the caller. So we'll remove this, remove this, remove this. And if we got a successful user, we'll return the user. And instead of handle, we're just going to call this login and sign up. And actually, let's just stay consistent. We'll call this sign in and sign up. And this needs to be exported. Sorry, export. And then we will go back to our page that is using it, specifically our sign up page. And for our handle sign up, we will just call our function. And all we really need to pass in is the body here. So we can call, let's do this. Let's import our service. And let's see, DHSER service dot, this is sign up dot sign up. Full name. So that's our sign up. This gets a response. So const sign up response is the value we get back. We don't need to do this check. All we need to do is await, and our sign up response should be a user. So we can remove all of this code. And then the next thing we want to do is, after we have a sign up response, then have our sign in response. And this will be sign in. And at this point, all we need is the email and password. What we'll do is, if there's no sign up response, then we'll throw new error signing up. Now this shouldn't happen, because if an error happens from the sign up, the error will get thrown from here, and then it should get caught down here under sign up error with the message. But if it does happen, we'll throw the error. If it doesn't, it'll fall down and we'll do our sign in response. And once again, if there's an error in the sign in, it'll throw an error and it'll show up down here at the bottom. Otherwise, it should take the user home, and then now that they're signed in, it should not redirect them back to the sign in page. So let's give all this a try again. And first, let's reload everything, create new account, new user, also notice the buttons on the bottom. So new user done, in 22nd, and let's switch this to new user and set the password and do sign up. So it worked. You can see it signed up. We have our new user, we have our birthday, we have our email, we have our created and everything here. And the last thing is, when we refresh, it still finds a user. Empty cache and hard refresh, because the cookie is still there. All right. So we have, and now let me log out. So we have the sign in, we have the sign up, we have the refresh where we save it, and everything's fine. So the next one is for the folks who are interested in seeing it get deployed to mobile, because what I'll do in the next video is I'll deploy this application to Ionic Framework, because we're going to have to make some changes, since there aren't really, well, the idea of passing cookies around and stuff like that on the mobile application probably isn't the best approach. So what we're going to do is we'll take the JavaScript web token, and we'll keep track of that, and we'll use that to authenticate and make all the other changes that we did. I think also what we'll do is we'll refactor out the rest of our code so that everybody's using this new auth service that was created, instead of duplicating the code around. We'll show a way to kind of clean up some of this duplication even that we have here. So hopefully you find this enjoyable, and we'll see you next time around. Thanks. Bye.